have the absolute pleasure of talking to rally car driver Sandra Labuscagne Jonck, who is the first, not only, and only rather, female driver in the South African cross-country series. And we'll be chatting about the sport and the brand new Total Agri 400, which took place this weekend in Bothaville in the Free State. Sandra, thank you so much for joining me on Sports at Prime tonight. Welcome to the show. We seem to be having a little bit of difficulty connecting to Sandra there, so we're going to try again to connect her. But while we do that, let me just let you know, we'll give you a little bit more information on what the Total Agri 400 is. It's a race that is part of the South African National Cross-Country Series, which is a rally car series, and it stretches 400 kilometers. So today, Sandra got to drive 400, well, at least she tried, but she will, if we do get on the line, tell you about the nasty crash that she had at a very, very fast pace, with eventually one of the wheels of her car breaking off her axle. And it looks like we do have her on the line. Let's try again to connect to her. Sandra, welcome to the show. Can you hear me loud and clear? Okay, it seems like she won't be able to hear us, so we're going to try to get her on the show because it's a very interesting race that she's part of, and they're driving for a good cause as well. And she is all the way in Bothaville in the Free State, so I would imagine that connectivity could be a little bit of an issue. But of course, us here at Newsroom 405 will look to sort those gremlins out as soon as possible. Actually, I'm hearing in my ear that she might be there on the line. Sandra, for the last time, let's try again. Can you hear me loud and clear? And if you can, welcome to News at Prime.
Hi, thank you very much for having me. Like you said, we're in Bothaville, so we might have some connectivity issues here. But I'm so happy to be on your show, and hopefully I can chat to you all about motorsports.
Absolutely, and it's a pleasure having you on the show. You sound good, you sound clear, so wherever you are in that car, do not move it. Don't reverse, don't go forward, just stay right there. Tell us a little bit more about the Total Agri 400. What makes this such a special race? And also, how did you fare this weekend?
Well, firstly, it's such a special race for us because it's long overdue that we can finally get back to motorsport. We do respect the COVID regulations. So for us, this was only the third round of our championship of the South African Cross Country Championship. And for us, it was the first time coming to Bothaville in this area. And we were so happy to be here. We've been well received. And I can tell you now, it was a new route and terrain for us today, which was quite challenging. And unfortunately, I didn't have a good day at the office behind the steering wheel today. We had quite a high-speed crash today. I was going about at 160, 170 kilometers per hour when I hit the big ditch, and we had a few barrel rolls. But luckily, both myself and my co-driver is fighting fit, and we did not get injured at all. And I must be honest with you, we're very lucky, and it just goes to prove that these cars we're driving are built really safe. And we're very excited that, none of us got hurt. Unfortunately, not the results we were looking at today.
Unfortunately not. Look, it's difficult to finish a race on three wheels, and you'll be able to attest to that. But let's speak about just the series in its totality. How many races are there in the season? You mentioned that this is the third race, the second one under the COVID regulations. How many more can we expect from you?
Well, Buhle, we've still got about 2 rounds of the championship left over, which will be on the 24th and 25th of October this year. So for us, we need to have a good showing at that. So this year, our championship will only consist of 5 rounds. We used to have about 7 rounds, but like we said, with COVID, it's special regulations for us. So these rounds are just a good stepping stone for people that are interested in the Dakar. So I'm sure you all are familiar with the Dakar vehicle. And, they compete in our series, and it's just a great practice round that forms part of the South African National Championship. So we're really, really excited that we can get going back again, especially with the Dakar only a few months away.
I mean, you speak about the Dakars, Sandra. How do you even begin to get into the Dakar? What does it cost for a company or just a person who wants to participate in this epic race to do so?
Well, the Dakar is definitely a bucket list for most of us. Definitely for me, it would be a dream come true. Unfortunately, for the average South African, it is quite an expensive thing to go there. So the starting cost would be about $3.5 million for someone to go there. And what is so great about that is that, the cross-country series we're partaking in now is a breeding ground for great drivers and navigators to actually take that next step and go there. We've had fantastic drivers in South Africa, like Janelle de Villiers and the like, who've been backed by a great manufacturer like Toyota moving forward. And, for me, as driving the Total Agri scooter, that's definitely the stepping stone that I'm having now in my plans to go to the Dakar in future.
Now let's talk about female participation within the sport. As mentioned in my intro, that you are the first and the only woman driver in the cross-country series. How is the participation looking like in general with women, and how did you get into it? And are you finding it rather difficult in a so-called man's world?
Yes, well, Buhle, definitely. I'm definitely finding it difficult in a man's world. But luckily, I've had the support of a lot of friends and family. And also my father was in the sport before. So it kind of came naturally for me just to, partake in the sport that I've grown up and that I have such a big passion for. I must be honest with you, I would love to get more female participants in the sport. Luckily for us, it's not only myself as a driver, but there are a few other females that have stepped up in the co-pilot seat or in the navigator seat, as we would call. One of them is Lesego Zulu, who's the wife of the late Gugu Zulu, who's also quite very passionate about motorsport. So, we need more young women that are motivated and have a passion for motorsport to come forward and actually come and join us in this series. And, I've always said, no matter what stigma there are around male and female, we need to fight for gender equality in South Africa especially. And that is quite close to my heart in promoting the sport for women as well.
How do you get into this as a female? I would imagine that for you to become a pro tier in the sport, which you are, it must have been quite a lengthy ride and a difficult one at that.
Yeah, exactly. Hard work and dedication, and then, just pushing forward with what your passion and your dreams are. For me, I grew up in a motorsport environment, which was a huge advantage. Not always that way for all competitors. So, definitely starting out on a club level, then going up on a regional level, and then coming towards our series, which is in a national level, would definitely be the way to go. And I must be honest with you, without great sponsors like Total Agri, which I'm running at the moment, it will never be possible for us to actually do the sport that we love. Unfortunately, we're so thankful for people backing us and believing in my talents as a woman in South Africa.
You spoke a little bit earlier on about the COVID-19 pandemic that has affected so many people across the globe. Can you just give some more insights in racing for a cause, which I believe you are part of?
Yes, so racing for a cause is something I'm very, very passionate about. And during this time, I'm actually a veterinarian by profession, and I used to go onto a lot of farmlands, and I used to work in a lot of rural communities, and I really saw the need there and, the poverty in those areas. And I thought, now that we're commencing with racing, I really want to give my racing a bit of extra meaning. And that's how we decided to come up with Racing for a Cause. And now we've partnered with Agri SA, and we actually helping them promote and create awareness for their food donation surplus project, which they started, where they donate surplus food and passes to those communities in need. And what I've asked my supporters and my fans and friends and family is to sponsor me R2 per kilometer that I actually complete over my racing career this year in the series. And that money then goes towards this project that we're quite passionate about. And I assure you that money will definitely go a long way in helping a lot of communities in need.